And it looks like we're live. Let's see if this actually happened or not. So do me a favor and give me a big hello in the chat. If you see that down below or off to the side of the video, let me know that we are here broadcasting and that we are indeed live. And welcome. I'm Bill McIntosh. I'm your host today. We are going to be talking about some powerful uses of AI and how you can use it to build and grow a business today during our live broadcast. And so we do this show every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time. That's 5 o'clock Eastern time. And so you should subscribe to the channel. For sneezes like that. But yeah, you should subscribe to the channel so you can attend live if you're seeing this after the fact. And you'll see down below the video a link to my channel, and you should see somewhere on here a subscribe button that will make sure you get notifications right here in YouTube when we're going live. So make sure that you do that and become part of our little community here of entrepreneurs that are using cutting edge technology to grow their businesses or build a business from scratch. And yeah, we're going to talk about all things entrepreneurship, marketing, and business development. And that's our agenda today. And we've got two topics specifically we're going to be diving into today. First off, we're going to cover 4 different products that you can create, all using ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT to create 4 different kinds of highly profitable products. In fact, they're products that I have personally sold and generated over $100 million in revenue selling these types of products. So we're going to dive into, I'll show you how you can make 4 different kinds of products, talk about how you can sell them and transform them into an entire business, or add them on to your existing business as a new profit center or new marketing channel. So the second thing we're going to talk about is AI. Is it the destroyer of your business? Now, I know that sounds a little bit hyped up right there, right? But I'll tell you that used incorrectly, AI, if you start a business using AI and you do it wrong, you're doomed. You will never succeed. If you've got a business going right now and then you bring in AI and you do it wrong, you're putting your whole business at risk. We'll actually show you some examples of people who almost destroyed their business by using AI incorrectly. And then we're going to talk the happier side of this. Is it your savior or your destroyer? And AI, both for your business and for entrepreneurs everywhere, is either a tool that you can really hurt yourself with, or you can use it to build lots of profit. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And I don't know why am I not seeing. Oh, there we go. There's the comments. My streaming software was not showing me all of your happy comments over here in the streaming platform. Awesome. Cool. Now, like every one of our broadcasts today, we have quite a lot of customers. So customers of my Push Button AI platform join us on these shows, and they actually can pre-submit questions and ask for feedback and other things from me that I can take up during the live show. And that's a membership benefit of being a customer of pushbutton.ai, where we build entire businesses at the push of a button using AI. And that's something that is a membership bonus. And then also the topics that we cover, we usually select at least one of them, and we'll take our show notes. We'll take any prompts if we're using, like ChatGPT, and we have prompts that we're using to put into ChatGPT to get it to give us useful information, resources and links that we share. All of this stuff is bundled up along with the transcript, our comments, and my show notes, and will be made available to you in the members area. And we'll grab one of the segments, usually the one with the most training, and that gets added into our members area. And all right, we got a good international audience here. I see from Australia over to Hawaii, wow, out into the Pacific, and then all the way back again over to Seattle, over in the UK. Awesome. Dallas, Texas. Hey, Blake. And yeah, so we're going to kick things off and get started. And which, by the way, before we dive into it, if you are not yet a customer of Push Button AI, we are in private beta. It is not publicly open. You cannot just go sign up and join, but we do have a program where you can get a live demo work with one of our consultants to actually find out how you can best use our AI tools to build or grow your business from scratch, or add it on to an existing business as a new profit center or marketing channel. We'll show you how we can do that. We'll do a live demo of the technology. And then if you're a good fit, we may invite you to join our private beta. And you can find out more details. Just head over to pushbutton.ai for more information. All right. Now, first up, we're going to be talking about product creation. And our first segment is going to be all about information products and how you use them to create profit. Right? An entire business can be built around what's called an info product. And an info product could be any kind of data or information. It could be training. It could be an ebook. It could be just reference materials even that you can put together and collect. There's a lot of forms that information products can take. We're going to talk about 4 different info products, and I'll talk about how they're profitable, and we'll get into and do a deep dive into how you can use AI to build them. In fact, we have a step-by-step lesson that I'm going to go in detail, including the prompts used and everything else in this segment. And that's going to be our first segment of the day. And then just for everyone here with our live audience, so that you know, I'm recording this for us to use in content and in videos later. So I'm going to get into producer, mode in just a moment, and we're going to start filming that section, and we're going to do it here with you live. And looks like, oh, awesome. We've got somebody over in Jerusalem as well. So welcome. And, and Spain. Good. Madrid, Spain. Wow. Nice international audience today. Glad to see you all. All right. Before we dive into the very first segment, I'm going to power up with some content juice here. I must be fully caffeinated before I put out my best content. And we're going to dive into it. All right. Let me get my show notes up here. There they are there. Okay. Got my teleprompter ready, and we're going to get started. Okay. Here we go. Next up, we're going to talk about 4 really profitable products that you can create to build an entire business around, or you can bolt it onto your existing business as a new profit center or new way to attract leads and clicks and traffic to your website. So it can be done either way. And these are info products. That means creating information that people are willing to pay for or sign up for free if you want to attract leads. And the beauty is that you can create them all with AI. And I'm going to be showing you how to do that. In fact, I personally have sold information products over the years and have done over 8 figures. That's $100 million in revenue selling these kinds of products. And let's get into it. Because today, with the awesome and fast-paced innovations of AI, of course, my teleprompter is now acting up again. Okay, note for the editor, edit that out. Okay, here we go. Today, with the awesome and fast-paced innovations of AI, there is money to be made everywhere. And I'm going to be showing you businesses that are doing as high as $50 million a year, some that spin up to 6 figures in just a matter of months, all part of a business type that you can build with AI. And this AI revolution is happening so fast. It's so dynamic. It's so overwhelming at times because there's changes every single day. It sometimes seems unclear as to what can happen here and how these businesses are actually making money. Now, it's weird and frustrating because there's money to be made seemingly everywhere using AI, right? You probably see it. If you're here on YouTube, you're probably seeing videos pretty much daily of all these different ways that you can make money with AI. But it's sometimes confusing as to what's real, what's BS, and how does it all work. Many people don't even know where to get started. So we have kids making AI content that blows up on TikTok, people building Etsy stores that sell AI-made designs, streamers selling access to AI bots that talk just like them, and everything in between. So with all these choices and with all this different technology, where do you get started? Because don't get me wrong, there's money to be made all of these places in AI, but there are trendy ways to do it that won't survive in the long term. And then there are sustainable ways that will always produce evergreen cash flow. That's what you want, right? You're not looking for some trendy thing that's a hyped up thing right now. And then maybe you can get a little money in the door and then it dies out and you spend a lot of time and energy and you don't get any long term results. And we don't want you to have that type of an experience. We're not trying to play let's win the lotto, right? You don't want to be playing lotto tickets that maybe you'll win some money, maybe you won't. You want something that you can take advantage of with AI that will actually give real sustainable growth and real sustainable profit. And we want to build a real business that will grow and still keep making money for years. Now, the key to this, I believe, is info products. Now, info products, which is also short for information products, are my bread and butter. Now, I've generated over $100 million selling these kinds of products to people over the years. These are information products. And these are products that I've sold to businesses, like business to business type training. These are products I've sold to the general public, like things that help them with their personal finances or help them get a job, help them use software. There's all kinds of different info products that I have sold over the year. And they are, I believe, the best business to build in 2023 because, first off, they have a huge margin. Margin is what the amount of profit. What does something cost you to build it versus what you charge for it? So the more margin you have, the more profit you've got. These have incredible margins because you create them once at the beginning. After that, it's almost 100% pure profit. And you can scale these easily, right? Because if you're selling information that exists on your website or in other forms we're going to talk about in a moment, it's easy to scale on up because some kinds of businesses, like let's say you start a car washing business, might be kind of hard to scale that up into a multi-million-dollar business, right? You'd have to have hundreds, maybe thousands of car washers in different locations and all the management and having to deal with handling the cash at a car wash facility and maintaining the facilities and all of that. But with an information product, you've got none of it. And when you do it right, you're selling valuable information and it can generate repeat recurring income that you get paid for over and over and over again forever. And now, thanks to AI, you can build an info product business. That didn't work very well. There we go. Lightning fast. And here are 4 info products that you can build with AI. Now, I'm going to show you step by step how to build each of these 4. We're going to show examples of how to use AI to build each of these 4 different types. But I've got to warn you, I know that to make serious money in any business, it takes time, dedication, a little tenacity. You got to stick with it and be persistent. And you'll never make anything valuable without a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears to build your business, right? So AI, while you can have push button solutions that help you create cool stuff, it does not replace good old fashioned hard work and ingenuity on creating a business that lasts a lifetime. So let's keep going. The first idea that we're going to cover, and I think is something that's not talked about enough, is a paid newsletter. People will pay you to receive email on a weekly, daily, monthly basis when you pack it full of very useful information. And there are several examples of super profitable paid newsletters, multi-million-dollar operations that all they're doing is selling information that they email to their subscribers once a week is usually the typical business model. And there are 2 main ways to make money with these. First, you get paid, right? Like I just talked about. The other one is you can have a free newsletter and you can cram it full of affiliate offers so that you get commission every time someone buys one of the sponsored products that appears in your newsletter. So if you promote a particular product, somebody clicks on it through your newsletter and they go buy it, you get a commission. So those are the 2 ways to monetize this type of information product. Now, paid newsletters are more difficult to launch, but they have a high potential for return. And if you do some quick mental math here, let's say that if you had a $20 a month newsletter, right, that's fairly cheap. Well, if you had some subscribers, it begins to add up really fast at the very small rate. Let's say you have 250 subscribers. That's it. You'd be making $5,000 plus per month. That's almost entirely profit with just 250 users subscribing to your newsletter. So, and if you want to scale up, you can just do the math, right? It's a pretty simple calculation when you're trying to figure out if you have an income target. Let's say you want to make, $10,000 a month with your business. Well, you can do some simple math and find out, well, how many subscribers do you need? Because almost all of the income that comes in goes straight to profit. And just a simple calculator can help you do this. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, right. Who is actually going to write this newsletter? Who's going to come up with the ideas that I'm going to talk about in the newsletter? What am I going to put in there? How do I email them every week? And you'd be surprised just how easy it is. Now, one newsletter called The Dispatch, it's a political news site, sells a $10 a month newsletter. They have 400,000 subscribers. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to share my screen and show you this. You can see it firsthand. We're going to let's go over to this window here. There we go. So this newsletter they have a monthly version at $10 a month, and they are crushing it. This company is doing 50 million a year, give or take, an approximation. And that's by selling a paid newsletter related to politics. Shocking, right? So people think they sometimes overcomplicate this and think that somehow the newsletter's got to be something really incredibly fancy. Well, there's an 8-figure business that is doing something as simple as a newsletter on politics. Now, it's not a walk in the park to get to 50 billion. Obviously, there's a lot of effort and work and success that goes in there. That's to give you some idea of what's possible with this business model. And let me tell you some reasons why people pay for a newsletter in the first place. First, people are bombarded with information every single day. There are a lot of people that spend 5 hours a week just sifting through all that information. I mean, think about it yourself. When you're browsing your news feed, whether you're here on YouTube or whether you're over on Facebook, maybe you're on Twitter or Instagram, whatever sources you have for information, how much time do you spend going through all of those feeds just trying to find good information and weed out good versus bad information? And then also, what about all the newsletters that you might be subscribed to that are not really newsletters? They're just promotional marketing lists, right? But you're subscribed to them because you're looking for information and you're hunting for that valuable information that you can trust, that you know is real, right? Easily 5 hours a week, I would say, is spent on that. I probably spend more than that. And what if you do that research for them? What if you are the one going through all of that important information for your subscribers so that they don't have to go out into the digital Wild West to figure it out for themselves? You're possibly saving them dozens of hours a month in time. So you think about that at $10 or even $20 a month, that is well worth it. If you become and you can present a newsletter that has useful information that curates the best of the best and helps make sure that they stay informed and they know what's going on, that is valuable. And so who wouldn't want to pay something like $20 a month for hours of their life given back to them? Okay. Now, there's other ways to do newsletters, like the affiliate style, where you actually, instead of charging money, you have a free newsletter that still is valuable. You do this as a newsletter, a source of data and information. And so you would send out a weekly kind of summary of what's going on in that topic or covering a particular, training piece or teaching in your newsletter. It's easier to get people to subscribe, obviously, because they don't have to put money in. And then you just send out these really valuable emails once a week to all of the subscribers, and you load it up with affiliate links. You just find relevant products out there that have affiliate programs, and it's really easy to do. And if you guys want more training on how to find good affiliate programs, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do that on a future segment and show you how to find the best of the best, good paying, profitable affiliate programs in your niche. So let me know. I'll do that on a future session. And so Morning Brew. You ever heard of them? I've talked about them in previous videos, and we've talked about how they actually created an 8-figure company and sold, right? They actually cashed out and sold, and they actually used this model. And they started out with a free subscription. They put some affiliate offers in there on the back end, and with this free newsletter, they made a lot of money. And let me show you that example here. Let me go to it over here. And here's Morning Brew. Okay. They're a free newsletter, and they just, again, they use the affiliate model to monetize it. And they do really, really well. Now, any free newsletter that you subscribe to is likely doing this. They're either promoting their own products, or they're doing a model like this where they're promoting other people's products in exchange for commission, which is kind of a cool model because you don't have to worry about having your own product anymore. So let's say you have 10,000 readers of your newsletter. And with a free newsletter, it really is not that hard to get that many subscribers. And I've managed with multiple businesses to build million subscriber mailing lists. So getting 10,000 subscribers is not that big a deal. And let's just say you're making $10 a subscriber per year, right? That's less than $1 a month per subscriber on affiliate commissions. So you can do the math on that, right? If you have 10,000 subscribers and you're making $10 per month per year per subscriber, you have a 6-figure business right there. That's a 6-figure newsletter business, giving it away for free, monetized with affiliate offers. And that's the beauty of how this all works. And so you might see the potential in doing this. Maybe you're thinking about this now. You might be thinking, okay, I kind of see how this model could work. I kind of see how I could make some profit with this. And Bill, I would love to do it, but I'm way too busy to even think of something like this. I can't figure out how I'm going to come up with, doing 1,000-word newsletter every week, week after week after week. And I'm just not sure how to go about putting the content together. Well, that's the great news about modern AI, because now you don't have to. Your friend ChatGPT is going to do it for you. And with a little bit of skilled prompting, you could actually pump out your own newsletter. Now, a prompt is really just the stuff you put into ChatGPT, the stuff you tell ChatGPT to do, or the things you ask it to do. Those are prompts. And if you do them right, you actually can take 6 hours worth of work and get it done lightning fast. And I'm going to show you some examples. We're going to walk through a step-by-step process of how you could make your own high-value newsletter, 1,000-word high-value newsletter that people will pay you for or happily subscribe to, because you're going to be a valuable source of useful information in their mailbox every single week. And so let's go over the general approach on how I would do this, or make any kind of AI content. You can use a little bit of what I'm going to be showing you here to build out all kinds of different AI content. Okay. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do is head on over to good old Gmail. So we're going to go to Google, and you're going to create a special, I call them a spy Gmail account, but really it's just a Gmail account. And you don't have to use Google. You can use any free email provider you can think of that's convenient for you. I like Gmail. So you set up your free spy Gmail account. You can name it anything you want. And then you do some research. You go over to Google and you start looking around. Maybe you spend some time looking on Twitter and Facebook and other social media channels and start looking for email newsletters. I showed you an example of a couple of them on screen earlier, but there are hundreds of different people that have successful email newsletters. And what you want to do is find the ones that to you, they have a lot of subscribers. That some people will tell you how many subscribers they've got. So you want ones that have lots of subscribers, that seem credible, that seem successful, seem like they've been around a little while, and you want to subscribe to them. Okay. And you're going to want to find the ones in your niche market. And so let's say I like to use the dog training niche as an example in my training, because everybody can relate to pets, right? And so people in that niche, you might just go to Google and search dog training email newsletter or dog training email list, something like that. And start looking for places that you can subscribe, places that have these that you can sign up to. That's the first thing you do. So you're going to want to subscribe to, several of them. You don't just want to subscribe to one. I would say you're going to want 10 plus newsletters subscribed on that email address. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to scan those emails, and you're going to look at the emails throughout the week. And when you find ones that you think look valuable, and you don't even have to read them in detail, just you can scan them over, spend literally 30 seconds scanning over the newsletter, scrolling through it really fast. And if you think that they cover good topics, you merely drag and drop, copy and paste everything in that newsletter, grab it out of your Gmail and paste it into a text file. So if on PC, you can just open up Notepad to do a text file. I can't remember what Mac's program is, but you want to open up a Notepad file or a text file and just paste it into there. And I'll show you on screen an example. Let me get one opened up and I'll show you a sample. Just give me 1 second to open this and pull it around here. And there we go. So I don't know if the text is a little bit small. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. All right. So I just put all caps, newsletter example, subject line. Then I put the subject line, body, colon. And then that's the entire email newsletter, literally just copied and pasted into the text file. See that? All the way down. Let me find the end of it. It's got to be down here somewhere. There we go. That's the end of it there. And then here's the next one. All caps, newsletter example. And then I put the subject line, body, and then the next one. All right. And so you want to do that. There's 3 of them here. And this is a lot of text. So this is something that is not something that you could easily copy and paste into ChatGPT, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a Notepad file. We're going to save it. And then we're going to come back to that in just a moment. And so once you've got 3 to 4 of this week's kind of useful newsletters, you put them in the text file. And now we're going to use something called Code Interpreter. So if you haven't heard of Code Interpreter, the time of recording this video, it's all the rage. It's a new feature that ChatGPT is rolling out. You do have to be one of their premium subscribers. It's only $20 a month, but it is well worth it. And we're going to use Code Interpreter to upload this file into ChatGPT and start using it to mine it for ideas for our own newsletter. I'll show you the prompt on the screen right now. So let's pull this up. Okay, I got the prompt. Okay, so let's then go over here. Oh, again, didn't open ChatGPT. Let me do that real fast. Okay, I got ChatGPT open, and let me now share my screen. Here we go. So we're over here on ChatGPT, and you're going to want to over here under GTP4. If you hover over it, you'll see Code Interpreter. You see that? You want to select that. That's what we're going to be using. Okay, and then the next thing that we're going to want to do, if you don't see that, you'll need a paid account. It's a $20 a month account. It's not, it is well worth it. It is a valuable piece of a valuable tool in your business arsenal. And if you don't see the option here, you can come on over to your settings and click on beta features and make sure that Code Interpreter right here is turned on. So if you don't see it, this is likely turned off. So you're going to want to come in here in settings and turn Code Interpreter on. Now, one of the things that we can do now is click the little plus, and we want to upload our file. So we're going to go over here. We're going to find our newsletter file, and we are going to upload it. Okay. So we saw the little spinning thing. We know it's done uploading, and we're now going to paste our prompt. And our prompt says, you are an expert email newsletter copywriter who writes subject lines, headlines, and subheadings for sections of the newsletter and comes up with high-value content ideas for your readers. You have a friendly yet informational tone of voice. You have a conversational writing style. I produced a text file of successful newsletters with their subject lines in my niche. I'm going to up.
Sorry, technical difficulties. We'll be back in a second.
Wow. Okay. Apologies there. So, you'd think with my $18 million computer that it wouldn't, obviously I'm exaggerating, but I've got like the highest of high-end PCs down here and it just crashed. So boom, I'm back. And hopefully you hear me. Let's make sure my settings are all correct. Do I have the right audio? Yes, I do. Okay, I am back. Thank you for confirming that. And we are going to go back here. Start a new chat. Here, I'm going to get myself reset up where we were. So note for editor. Let's cut that and start from here. Okay, we're going to go here. All right, fantastic. Okay, so let's get back to where we were, which was we're over here in Code Interpreter. Let's upload my file again. Okay, here's my prompt. Oh, actually, there's not my prompt because it needs to be recopied. Get my prompt together. Okay. All right. So what this does is it primes ChatGPT to understand what we're doing, and it uploads our sample newsletters so it can actually mine it for ideas. Okay. Notice we didn't tell it that we want to copy these. We're not looking to plagiarize, steal ideas, or copy anything. We're showing it as examples of what's useful to our audience. And we're asking it to use these as ways to brainstorm topics and ideas and things that we can talk about in our newsletter. All right, so let's submit this prompt. And so you can see here when it does this, you see this little purple symbol there. That means it was working. It's successfully read the file. The file contains examples of newsletters, each with a subject line and a body. Please provide the next instructions on how you want to find topics based on this information. What's cool is it actually has already done some analysis. And it says, from the small sample I've shown, it appears that the topics are finance related, typically focusing on areas like stock funds and investment strategies. So it actually already knows the topic of all these newsletters just from processing the file. It says the newsletter uses a clear and informative tone to explain complex financial topics. So right there is a valuable little tidbit that explains the value of these newsletters. They're using clear and informative tone to explain complex financial topics. That's super valuable. So now it's asking, what do you want to do next? And that's where our next prompt comes in. So we're going to put prompt number 2 in, and we'll put that right there. And now that you have read the file and understand my niche, please brainstorm 20 potential topics to write my newsletter on. Remember to draw inspiration from the contents of the file I sent you. Send. Now it's working, doing its thing. So now it's actually brainstorming. We're using ChatGPT as a brainstorming tool to help us figure out what we want to talk about. And okay, yeah. So you can see here, it's funny. It's telling you that it's struggling to process the file, but it found an alternative way to read the file and brainstorm some topics. And here we go. So, and when it does that, this is a technical thing that you can pretty much ignore. As long as it will successfully find a way to read your file, then you're good to go. So you might find it try 2 or 3 different technical things to process your file before it finally gets it right. And, but here we go. So for a financial newsletter, like an investment and financial newsletter, here are 20 ideas that we could write about in our own either premium paid or free newsletter. So that is pretty cool, right? Now we move on to the next section. We're going to go on to prompt number 3. And by the way, again, all of our push button AI customers, we're going to load this up and share these prompts with you in your members area. So it may take a week before it appears in the members area, but you will get all of the prompts and our show notes from this segment in there. So that's for all members of pushbutton.ai. If you've joined and are part of that, you'll get these prompts. So let's move on, and we are going to use the next prompt here, which says, okay, oh, it's okay. So it's, let me just fix the spelling on that. It's going to come up with some longer segments, right? It's going to take these, select more, and give us some more data. Okay, so you can see here. Oh, these are so it's the subject lines. Duh. So it's coming up with subject lines first up. So we got 20 potential subject lines for our newsletter, and let's see. This prompt didn't quite do what it usually does. Oh, I see. Here, we're going to go back and I'm going to redo this prompt. Okay. So I didn't actually do it right. I didn't do this right. Let's see, which prompt are we here? Which prompt are we doing here? This one is, oh, I see. Okay, so we're going to go back. We're going to back up a minute here. And what we're going to do is we're going to select one of the topics that we might want to cover. Okay. Let's say we're going to cover this one. So we're going to take that and we're going to insert it right there into our prompt. Okay. And we're going to submit that. Okay. So now it's coming up with 20 different ideas for headlines or subject lines that we can use for a newsletter. Like that's if we wanted to choose that topic. Okay. And then now, what we're going to do is move on to the next prompt, and we're going to actually have it come up with topics for within our newsletter. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of things from up above. So we're going to say, let's take that. I like this subject line. So I took one out of the ones it suggested. I will use that as a subject line of your newsletter. Okay. And then this is the topic we chose above here, which was that. So the topic is this here. And then we're going to hit submit. And now it's breaking our newsletter down. So this is going to break down all the topics that we're going to cover in our newsletter from top to bottom. And what we're going to do is pick a handful of these. So let's just say just for fun, I'm going to take these as examples. Okay. And I'm going to paste them here. And submit. So now it's planning out our newsletter for us. So we grabbed 3 topics out of the suggested topics or segments, and it's building an outline for us. And then our next prompt is going to give us, the intro to our newsletter. And I'm trying to find our subject line from above. There it is right there. So that's the subject line we chose before. So we're pulling data out of earlier prompts and rolling them forward into piece by piece to help guide it. And we're going to submit that. Okay. And so now there we go. It's starting to write our newsletter. So what we're doing is we're priming ChatGPT with more and more data and guidance step by step. And then we're feeding back some of the information that it comes up with back to itself. And there we go. There we go. There's the intro of the newsletter. And now what you can do from here is just start to ask it to add more and write to it. And we could say, we're going to take these and say, insert more segments into the newsletter, starting with, and then we're going to put in, that's one of the segments it gave to us before. And now it's going to write that. So we've got our intro that we can copy and paste. And then we've got the first segment here. It's now writing. Okay. And now we can have it go through doing each segment one at a time. So we can scroll back up And we can take the next segment and so on, continuing to write that newsletter. Okay. We can say, now please write the next segment, colon, and paste it in there. And now it's going to write it out. So we do this one segment at a time. So we get our intro done. We get one segment done at a time. And through all of this, it then helps to generate our complete newsletter. Now, there you go. So that is a little bit more of a complex set of prompts. But do you see how that works? Where you feed the document in to begin with. So you're priming it with all of the successful newsletters, topics that you saw covered this week. Then you're asking it for ideas of subject lines. You're asking it for ideas of topics to cover. Then you're feeding the subject line and the topic back to ChatGPT, having it to create an outline. Then you feed the outline piece by piece back to ChatGPT and have it write your newsletter. And it does when you do it with this style, you're priming it and guiding it step by step to kind of keep it on the rails of doing just the perfect newsletter. And it comes out with something that is incredibly valuable to your audience. And you can do this on any niche market that already has successful newsletters in it. If you want to figure out how to get going, this is the way to do it. I've been playing around with this. I'm finding it incredibly valuable. I'm finding the content that it's generating incredibly valuable. And it does take a little bit of patience to work with these prompts and get them in there. But remember, everyone who is a customer of Push Button AI, you will find this in the AI Profits course that you have available to you. The prompts and the training will appear in there within about 7 days, and you'll be able to access that there. Now, that's one type. We have 3. Can I count? There we go. We got 3 more types of information products that I want to go over with you. The next few are going to be a little faster as we go through them, but I do want to cover the other kinds of info products that you can use AI to create. And let me just go through here and try to speed this up. Get my prompter going. Now, remember that ChatGPT has a cutoff, okay? So you can fill it up with too much data. And so what you might find is you have to, note for editor. We're going to re-edit this. Okay. Now, you might have to go back and forth with the data that you use in the newsletter. You might want to polish it, edit it, tweak it to kind of give it your voice as best you can and make it so it's something that you actually like and have enjoyment on. But this is going to be so much faster than having to sit down and write over 1,000 words of unique content off the top of your head. But when it's written for you and now all you have to do is make it better and polish it, it is so much easier. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that ChatGPT is not trained up to the minute. So if you're in a market where there is lots of frequently changing information, like the market of AI, for example, you probably could not use this technique to do an AI newsletter because the topic of AI is evolving so fast that ChatGPT is not trained on it. It is not trained up to date. It's trained through almost to the end of 2021. So anything that has happened in 2022 or 2023, ChatGPT doesn't even know about it. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to mine it for topics. Okay. But again, even having to polish, edit, tweak, and improve, that is still just a fraction of the time it would ordinarily take to do this. And I like email newsletters because unlike other kinds of platforms that try to control how you talk to your audience, you have complete and total control. So instead of having to worry about is Facebook going to censor you because of something you said that you put out in your group or that you put out on a post on your page, or is Twitter not going to like something you said, or all of the censorship and issues that go with being on other people's platform, when you own the email list, You get to control what you talk about. I like that. And you have total control and can take it where you would like. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about info product wise, idea number 2 are ebooks and guides. Now, these are typically downloadable things that are often in the format of a PDF. So .pdf is a type of a file that is universally able to be read by most computers and is an ebook format essentially. And right now there are people producing ebooks with AI and guides, and they're building 6-figure businesses lightning fast. So right out of the gate, they build an ebook or a guide using AI, and we have seen them rocket to 6-figure businesses in the matter of weeks. So there's one kid who used ChatGPT to build an ebook. Now that ebook sold over $200,000 in sales, and it was completely written using ChatGPT. And a good place to get inspiration for this kind of stuff is a place called Gumroad. So this is a marketplace that hosts all kinds of downloadable guides and ebooks and info products. There are PDFs that you can download, step-by-step guides, things like that. And I want to show you some examples of guides and ebooks that we found on Gumroad, so I can show you for just a little bit of inspiration. So let me pull up the screen here and we'll take a look. So here's one here. This is tips for getting admitted into an MBA program. So that's a guide right there. Pretty cool. 28 pages in length. It's $20. Right? There's an example. Over here, you can see accelerate your business credit and boost your funding options. It's a $47 ebook. It's about 14 pages in length. You can see people like it. This has sold 1,000 copies. That's almost $50,000 in sales of this ebook. Here's another one on Gumroad. So Gumroad, again, is where we go to do our market research to find examples so we can use this for inspiration. Here's a graphic guide to residential design. It's a very interesting, very unique niche. And $36. It's sold almost 7,000 copies. Here's one here. Here's the complete guide to calisthenics. So this is a 50-page guide sold for $8. Cool, right? Here's another one. The roadmap to becoming a data analyst. So they've sold 400 copies at 129 pounds. So I know converting that into USD is definitely more than that, but 431 copies of a pretty pricey ebook. Excuse me. Okay. So you saw those examples of the credit building ebook, ebook on residential design, an ebook on calisthenics and exercise, a guide on how to become a data analyst as a career. Now you can use Gumroad as inspiration for what kind of an ebook that you might want to create. It's a place to go for ideas and brainstorming. Most of the written info products on Gumroad are products that AI could easily help with. Okay. Now let's actually think about this for a moment. We're going to, I want to show you an example of creating a prompt off the top of my head, right? So we're going to do a similar approach where we're going to ask ChatGPT for some ideas of ebooks. We're going to select one and we're going to do the basics. I'll show you how you get started building an ebook using ChatGPT. And you can use a program as simple as Microsoft Word. So if you have Microsoft Word or you have Google Docs, you can create a PDF ebook, and it's really, really super easy. So let's go back to ChatGPT. Let me pull it up over here and share my screen, and we're going to do a new chat. And let's just go to GTP4, and we're going to say, here in the live audience, by the way, anybody here want any market you want me to research? I'm going to do some research right now, trying to figure out what kind of an ebook to write. Anybody have any markets you'd like me to play around with? You can give me some ideas. Let's toss over some ideas in the chat of what kind of an ebook or what kind of a market would you like me to experiment with here? And let me know in the chat. I know we've always got about a 10-second delay from when I ask questions and they come into the chat. So apologies for the delay, but yeah, give me some ideas. What kind of markets would you guys like me to research here? And we'll dig into it. Okay. Oh, urban farming. Okay. Okay. Home services like roofing. Okay, so we're going to try a couple of these. Okay, here's a lot of good examples are coming in. So I'm going to actually mess around with a couple of these. So we're going to prime this by saying you are expert in business, market research, and content marketing. Please provide 20 examples of ebooks or step-by-step guides I could create in the topic of, and here we'll start with, there's quite a few that were put in. So we're going to say, well, someone said roofing. So let's do this. This will be an interesting one. So if you were a roofer, you were trying to attract leads of people who might want to buy your roofing services, let's create an ebook that might do that. So in the topic of replacing the roof of your house on at a good price with quality work. Okay. And let's just see what it comes up with. There you go. Some great ideas here for ebooks that you could create if you were a roofer and you wanted to create a guide to attract people to sign up for or get quotes for your business. Okay. Lots and lots of ideas. There you go. I love these. Roof longevity, investing in a roof that lasts, getting the most out of your roof inspection, a step-by-step guide, leveraging home insurance for roof replacement, the art of roof maintenance, prolong the life and save money. Actually, this could be a great guide you give a customer after they get a roof from you. So that was kind of an obscure niche, and I wanted to show you examples of coming up with quickly 20 pretty cool ideas. And then let's try this in some of the other markets. So we're going to do a new chat. Let's make sure we're on GTP4. And we're going to say in the topic of urban farming was one of them. So I don't know a lot about this niche. So let's see what it comes up with. Yeah, there we go. Urban Farming 101, getting started with your green thumb, guide to growing vegetables in your apartment, building an urban greenhouse, complete guide to composting in the city, urban beekeeping. Is that a thing? Actually, yeah, with our live audience here, let me know if is this actually a thing? Indoor herb gardening, grow your own. So there you go. It did come up. It answered. It gave us 20 ideas. Okay. Now I'm going to pick one other one. Let's try. Here was a market that came up. Let's try. Topic of living off the grid. Okay. So it comes through here and gives us our ideas. And now the next step in this is to select one. And so let's say, let's just grab this just for the heck of it. And we're going to say, I would like to create the guide titled, and we're going to put the title in there that it's selected. Please write an outline for this detailed step-by-step guide that teaches a beginner how to self-sufficient off the grid. Okay. And of course, you want to fix your spelling. And here we go. There's the outline for it's creating it for us right here. And now what you would do is step by step, you would come in and you would say, is the next step. And let's copy this whole piece. We can say, for this section, please write an introduction. Now we're going to ask it step by step to write an introduction, which it's doing right now. And then we're going to keep feeding it back. So you can see a similar topic here. This is actually the successful strategy of using this is when you go back and forth, you keep feeding data back to ChatGPT. A lot of people just go in and they say, hey, write me a massive article or write me this big old ebook. And that does not get good results and it usually fails. But what does work is when you guide it on Rails step by step and you say, hey, what sections should I have in my ebook? Okay, now for this section, write an intro. For this part of that, of part 2 in section 1, write that part of the guide. And you go step by step. Now, this can be a little time consuming, but it's still lightning like leagues ahead of the old way of doing this. I'm having to write all this by hand. You're copying and pasting and assembling the guide step by step. Just pop it into Microsoft Word or into whatever word processing tool that you use. And you take each section piece by piece, copy and paste as it writes it for you. And at the end, you save the file and you export it as a PDF. And you have yourself a valuable ebook. Now, I'm going to show you a way to do something even better at the push of a button in just a minute, but we'll get to that in a second. So let's move on. So the third idea is unconventional, and this is an info product that you might not realize, and that is a community. So a community itself is a form of an information product. And these are, for example, it could be a paid Facebook group, or it could be, there's a new platform called School. If you haven't seen that, we'll talk about it in a moment. But these are where people will pay you to be part of a community that is loaded with information and good, valuable, useful discussion and like-minded people. They will pay you to be part of that. And the thing that makes these work is by being able to fill it with content and keep the community primed and prompted to keep talking to one another. That is what makes a community valuable. And this is a cool one because you can take advantage of network effects. Network effects are an economic phenomenon where a product gets more and more valuable the more it is used. So the more members you put in, the more valuable the community becomes. Over time, it gets bigger and bigger and more and more and more valuable. So if you have a community that they might want to then start to go, where they start to invite friends or people in their network or people that are, in the hobbies with them or part of their clubs, and you start to get virality at the same time. And it's almost like a snowballing exponential effect that the bigger your community gets, the more active it gets, the faster it grows, the bigger it gets, the faster it grows. And then you might start off at the beginning really working to keep the community active and busy. And then once it hits critical mass and takes off, it is almost completely self-sustainable, where it just runs itself. The users put the content in, and all you're doing is basically sitting back and making sure everyone behaves. So an example, let's say you join a new club and you invite your friend to the club, right? that friend invites their friends, like the pyramid. I'm sure you've all seen the pyramid scheme diagrams, right? So the math here is that you can guess is pretty awesome. And some of the most well-known startup success stories like eBay, Uber, Facebook, they all took advantage of this phenomenon. It leads to exponential growth. Now, usually communities are centered around a cornerstone piece of content, like a podcast or informational guides or a newsletter. So for example, you could combine a community along with one of our earlier examples where you have a community tied to either an ebook or a community tied to a newsletter, and they kind of coexist together. Now, the beauty of AI is that you can create content. You can create your cornerstone content, the main topic of discussion, but you can also use it to prime that group. So think, you go to ChatGPT, you have it create a great piece of content for you, and you drop it into your paid Facebook group. And then you get them talking about it. You get them discussing it. So you're dropping value into the community. And at the same time, you're getting the people in the group to discuss it and talk about their perspective. How would they do it? Or what do they think about it? And that actually can be, the all in of itself becomes really, really valuable. Now, there are lots of groups that I've seen all over the place that charge anywhere from $10 a month. I've seen people charging $300 a year. And in fact, there's one called Trends that they charge about $300 a year for a user to be part of their Facebook group. And they've got about 13,000 Facebook group members. And I think that's about 4 million a year. And let's see, I think I have yeah, there it is. It's right there. Let me show you. There's Trends. Okay, so you can join the community. Of course, you're kind of joining a newsletter and the community at the same time. There we go. Here's their group. I'm obviously not a member of it, but they've got 13,000 members. And they've got a paid membership, and they're doing really, really well. Now, this isn't the only example. There are thousands of paid communities out there doing 6, 7, even 8 figures as a paid community. So you launch these on the existing platforms that are out there. So you're using Facebook groups. Discord is one that is very popular. I use Discord quite a lot. I haven't created a group yet in there, although I may be doing that soon. People create groups on Slack. And then, of course, School is one that is a kind of a popular one that's kind of an up-and-coming product, and I'll show you that one. So here is a group that I'm in, as an example. This is, well, it's sending me straight. So this is a group that I am part of that's hosted on School. Now, School is spelled SKOOL, school.com. And this gives you an example. So this group is one that I belong to. I actually get a lot of value out of this group. It's got about 2,500 members in it. And it's been pretty darn useful. So there's a live example of a group in progress that is making its group owners quite a bit of money, I would suspect. And then over on Discord is one called Profit Lounge. And here I can show you that one. So Profit Lounge has a Discord server where you can join and be part of that. And they go over flipping and reselling things. They're kind of like a side hustle product flipping thing. And they charge $90 a month. So $90 a month. And they've got a lot of users, and it's all in Discord. And that's another example of a community. And amongst our live audience, how many of you are in a group that you find value out of? And maybe you're in a paid group. So maybe some of you are part of paid groups. Maybe some of you are part of some free groups that you get a lot of value of. And the interesting thing about groups is it's the same thing. You have choices to monetize them. You can add a group to an existing business as an extra value add. You could have a group that just purely charges for access, and that's your entire monetization strategy. And you can also combine it, where you can combine some of our other info products with a discussion group, and that can be a really powerful combination. But let's see here on the live audience. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. Well, our Nick is talking in the chat, and he's talking about how he's part of a bunch of e-commerce related groups. Okay, cool. Well, then what I'm going to do now is I want to give you some examples of how you can use ChatGPT. How do you use AI to do this kind of content? And it's quite simple, really. You can just tell it what you're doing. So here, let's do this. Let's together. I haven't prepared a prompt ahead of time. We're going to do it off the top of my head. Let's go to ChatGPT, and we're going to go to GTP4, and we're going to say, you are an expert in e-commerce. Write a short but highly valuable piece of content giving advice on the best way to start a new e-commerce store. The content will be shared in a Facebook group and should be designed to encourage discussion. There you go. Since I said it, notice that it's using emojis, right? It knows it's going to be in Facebook, and it knows what people like to use emojis in Facebook. So there we go. It's writing the piece of content for you. So for you as the group owner, you just come in and pop this post in there and then encourage discussion. Okay. There you go. And that would be that right there. Gave a nice little piece of content. Again, you just paste it right into a Facebook post, pop it into your group, and you've got yourself a great piece of content. And we could also create even shorter version that is a small post designed to get people to share their advice about starting on e-commerce store. Okay, so we can get a shorter one. And it's even given us hashtags. That's pretty funny. So comment below and let's learn from each other's experiences. Okay, right there is a piece engaging people. So it's amazing the kinds of content that you can coax to get out of ChatGPT with just some logical discussion. And it's always important to prime ChatGPT to give it some background information about what it's creating. And you can just straight up ask it, and it comes up with some pretty awesome stuff. Now, we're going to move on to the fourth thing on our list. So idea number 4 is courses. And these are step-by-step, usually guides that are like, think of a step-by-step guide, but instead of a simple ebook, you're going to stretch it out, make it much more valuable. And it can be as many as 10 to 12 different like modules of training to teach someone to solve an important problem or accomplish an important goal. And it might be something that is stretched out over time. Now, of course, this one is my favorite. I'm a personal believer that every business owner should have a course as part of their business strategy. So from bricks and mortar businesses to service businesses, any kind of businesses, retail businesses, every single one should have a course. It's a phenomenal way to either add profit to your business or use it as a way to provide extra value, like as a thank you, to provide goodwill, or it is a way to attract new leads by giving away discounts or free versions of a course to attract people in to become a lead, which you can then convert into a paying customer. Now, I've made tens of millions of dollars myself promoting courses. Now, I know tons of people who have made even more than I have. Now, these are products that can now be made rapidly. You can still make really valuable products using AI, but at the same time, you can get them done in a flash. Now, you can use our AI course building tool, pushbutton.ai, to build your own entire course with just a few clicks. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a very quick demo so you can see how Pushbutton AI builds an entire course business at the push of a button. Now, those of you who are here with the live audience that are already owners of Push Button AI, you already know how this works. But for everyone else, I'd like to do a quick demo so you can see exactly how Push Button AI can build you an entire course ready to launch in just a flash. So let's do this. I want to share a different screen. And we've got that one, and I'll put it up here. So here is our course builder right there. And with Push Button AI, we make it really, really simple. So we had, I see somebody here who is into real estate investing. So let's use that as an example. So let's say the demographic is men. Well, let's just say executives with high net worth. And then we're going to say the subject is how to get started in real estate investing. Okay. So we just put our idea. And by the way, if you don't even have an idea to know what kind of course you want, that's when our niche selection AI coaching comes in place. So we have an AI coach that will actually coach you through picking a niche market. So if you don't know what niche to go into, our AI niche coaching will help you figure that out. But assuming you have at least a general idea, a general concept of what you want your course to be about, you put that in here and you just hit the fill form button, and it is now doing its job. And it's going to come back and is going to give us an entire course outline. Now, our course outline is based upon what we call goals and benefits. The goal is a unique problem that they've got to solve in order to accomplish the big overall goal. Or it's a goal that they're trying to accomplish. And then what is the end benefit? What is the value of achieving this? And we do these in pairs. As you can see here, we've now created a 10 module course outline. So we know here we're going to teach people how to find profitable real estate deals. We're going to teach some investment strategies, how to build a real estate portfolio, understanding market trends, how to secure financing, how to identify high demand markets, how to evaluate property values, mitigating risk, networking with other real estate professionals, navigating the legal and tax considerations. That's actually a pretty good course. And then each one has its own benefit. You know, for example, building a portfolio means you're diversifying, having lots of different kinds of investments. Evaluating property value optimizes your opportunity, optimizes the profit, right? Mitigating risk, it safeguards your investment capital so you don't lose your money. And with this, we would hit save. Okay. Oh, we got to tell it what kind of sales style we want. So we're going to say we want it to be written in an aggressive sales style. We save it and we're ready to go to the next step. And then on the next step, we're actually going to get started building our site. But to have a site, we need a domain name. So to pick a domain name, we're going to say we're building a course. We're going to say find domain names. And here we go. So we've got a list of domains. And with one click, we're going to check to see which ones are available. Oops, I forgot I'm logged in as an admin. Let's try this again. There we go. Here we go. Down at the bottom, it is checking. These are a list of all the domains I've checked in the past, but here's the ones it's checking now. So the AI literally brainstormed all of our domains, came up with some good ones. Here's Master Real Estate Investing. Here is Real Estate Investing 101. Real Estate 101 training. And so we can go back and forth having the AI pick domain names. And then when we're ready, we just click the available button and Push Button AI goes to work building the entire course. It writes your sales letter. It writes your 30-day email sequence. It creates all of the course modules. It records audio training for your users. It creates video training for your users. It builds you a logo and so much more. And here are some examples, by the way. We'll see if we can get this, since my computer crashed here. Okay, here are some examples of our customers. Some of them might be with us in the audience. Here's an example of our 30-day email sequence written So you have 30 individual step-by-step emails for a 30-day sequence. Here's another one here. Here's a course lesson on Airbnb. We've got the entire lesson set up. At the bottom, we've got our audio. Got the video training. All this created by AI at the push of a button. And we've got a bunch more examples here. Here's, again, this might be somebody who's with us in the chat, but we've got, here's examples of social media posts that it created. And yeah, it does a lot. It does a lot. And, oh, it looks like my camera turned off. Here, hold on while I figure out my camera. I don't know if it overheated or what. Yeah, it looks like my camera overheated. Stand by, everyone, while I get it turned on. Okay. It's like in the teleprompter when it's inside the little bag in the teleprompter, it overheated. Okay, here I am. Note to editor. You'll have to edit that. So at the push of a button, Push Button AI can create all of those things for you. It builds you a course that has 10 modules of training plus an intro and a conclusion. It includes a free report that you can give away. It includes a squeeze page created and formatted and put online so you can get subscribers to join your mailing list. It includes a sales letter to sell your course. It includes that 30-day email sequence, social media posts, video, audio, everything you could possibly need to have a complete course business that you can either charge money for or give away for free if you want to use it to attract leads or provide value to your customers. And it's all done at the push of a button. So, of course, Push Button AI is currently in private beta. It is closed to the public, but you can schedule a demo. So if you go to pushbutton.ai, you can request a demo. And if it's a good fit, after we've showed you all the inside information about how it works and what it can do for you, our marketing experts will actually help you figure out the best use of courses and Push Button AI for you. And if you're a good fit, they may invite you to become part of the demo. But we're looking for very specific people that are willing to invest energy, time, commitment, money into building their business. I'm not looking to get a bunch of early users who are interested in pushing a button and having money rain from the ceiling, right? That such a thing doesn't exist. So I'm more interested in working with business owners or entrepreneurs who want to actually work on and build out a course business or add a course business to their existing company and are willing to do what it takes to make the course a success. And if that's you, then you should go schedule a demo and see if you can be part of our private beta. It's by invitation only. And you can head over to pushbutton.ai for more information about how to get access and to claim your free demo and marketing consultation. So there you go. And cool. Let's move on. I think, what are we doing timing wise? So this segment went way longer than expected. Okay, so yeah, I think we're gonna cap it on that. This is just gonna be one long segment. Yeah, so we are now at 90 minutes in almost. So I think Nick, are you out there on mic?
I am.
Okay, cool. So then I think what I'd like to do today, because that segment took a long time, and what we'll do is we'll push the second segment into next week.
Got it.
We keep having to do that. Our shows are running longer than expected, but so everybody here with the live audience, we have a segment we were going to cover called AI Decoded. We're going to talk about how you can kill your business with AI if you don't use it right. So, and we're going to talk about not just how, the doom and gloom of it all, but we're going to tell you the right way to use AI so that it doesn't hurt your business, because I think people are getting very enthusiastic and excited about AI, which I'm glad. I like it because it helps. I have a business in the AI space, obviously. So I'm excited about that. But there are so many ways, so many tools out there, so many techniques being taught, and so many of them actually can hurt you, not help you. So I want to clear that up, and we're going to cover that topic next week. So that's on the docket for next week. And what I'd like to do as a final thing before we wrap up our live show is we can do some Q&A. So I don't know if I haven't been able to watch the chat, so I don't know if there's any good questions that came in that we can help people out with. And I'm going to let the audience know that we're going to do we'll do a quick round, a lightning round of Q&A. So if any of you here, I know there's a lot of push button AI customers. So if you got questions for me about techniques, strategy, tactics, you need to get some advice, some coaching, some debugging, I'm here to help you with that. And we'll do a quick round of Q&A. But I got to remind you that on these live sessions, this is not the environment that I can help you with either tech support. So if something isn't working right, something seems to be broken, that goes to our tech support team. And then, of course, customer service. So if you're, you need to reset your password, or you're having login issues or issues with your billing information or any of that kind of stuff, can't help you with that either. So for any of that stuff, you have tech support or customer service issues, you're going to want to email help@pushbutton.ai. That is help, HELP @pushbutton.ai. Send that on in. They'll take quick and efficient care of you, and they'll make sure that you get the best support we can possibly provide. So again, for tech support or customer service, email. It'll get right into our either our tech support team or over to our customer service team, and they'll take good care of you. But for strategic and coaching and consulting questions, ask anything you might need help with. And that's not just customers. Anybody here who's watching our show who is not a customer, you want to ask me a question about marketing, about how driving traffic, about making money and monetizing your business, anything at all, I'm here to help you out. So let's do some quick Q&A.
There was a question earlier when we were talking about the email newsletters.
Yeah.
And they had asked about frequency. Is it supposed to be daily? And I had responded in the chat and I said, they do them daily, but I think the standard frequency is about once a month or once a week. But what's your input for how frequently you should email people?
Yeah, I would say if your business model is a newsletter, I would do a weekly newsletter, and then periodically you can do little updates throughout the week. Actually, I'll say something that is perhaps a little controversial, and this is not applicable to every niche and every situation, but I would do one pillar newsletter, and then you could do as many as daily little micro ones, right? Especially if your model is the affiliate model where you're profiting from affiliate marketing. I would say the daily model is going to be good with one big pillar piece of content per week. If you're doing a paid newsletter, then once a week. And if you have, you could do up to 2 little supplemental ones that can come out, on top of that. But that'd be what I'd go with. With the affiliate model, I do every single day. With the paid model, I would do once a week with up to 2 updates in between. So there's my advice.
We have another question, and it says, would it be advisable to request professional review of subject matter that requires licensure? For example, indicating that your skincare course has been reviewed by a dermatologist.
So this depends. Okay. And I want to be talking about licenses. I want to be careful here as well. I can't give you legal advice, right? I am not an attorney. You haven't engaged me to be your attorney. I'm not an accountant or anything like that. So what I'm about to say is just some opinion and just how I would personally handle it, right? So if you're in a field that is licensed and you're giving specific advice in that field, like let's say if you're in the health niche and you're giving some specific advice, particularly about if somebody is suffering from a disease or an illness or something like that, you absolutely want to, team up with somebody who has a license and who can do that kind of stuff, or have them look over your materials. Now, there are lots of ways to cover the health niche without having to get into giving medical advice, right? There are lots of ways to talk about business without having to give legal advice in business, right? And so there is this sort of gray line of when do you cross over from just giving general help versus something that it requires a license or requires, some sort of legal protection. So it's tough to decide exactly where that line begins and ends. I think each scenario is unique. So you would want to talk to a legal counsel about that. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't make a course about, hey, here's a step-by-step guide on how to cure your cancer. Okay. That would be the big no-no, right? That's a really obvious sort of silly example, but yeah, you do want to be aware that if you're operating in a field that requires licensing, you want to make sure that, you're obviously not doing something that will get you in trouble. And you could always partner with someone who is licensed. I think that doing it as a joint venture with somebody who is licensed in the field and who can give you feedback on your content, then that's fantastic. Okay. And if you need a lawyer, it looks like Kevin in the chat can help you. So. And what else we got, Nick? Anything else come in?
We got the question, how long should a paid newsletter be?
I mean, this is another one where, how long is a piece of string, right? It's how long to provide the value. So the value that you promise when someone signs up to your newsletter, the length of content it takes to deliver on that. Now, that being said, I think 1,000 words of content is, Nick, I know you subscribe to a lot of these kinds of newsletters. Does that seem about right?
Yeah. And I specifically ask when I'm prompting, because I've looked at a lot of these newsletters, to keep between 1,000 and 3,000 words. Okay. And if you write more content, I feel like it seems more prudent to, instead of putting it all into one newsletter, because with these things, the retention's kind of low, just space it out into multiple shorter newsletters.
Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. Any other questions? Nothing else?
Looks like no. Nope.
No? Okay, good. All right, awesome. Well, then I think what we'll do is we're going to be wrapping things up here. So hopefully today we did a lot of content, especially that piece about creating a newsletter. I think, it's a little bit more of sort of an advanced set of prompts and an advanced strategy, but boy, does it create some cool stuff. So, actually we can thank Nick. He actually helped me with some of those prompts and doing the research and testing and tweaking of them. So thanks to Nick for that awesome content. And man, does it come up with some great stuff. So if you want a value-packed piece of content, use those prompts. And for everybody who is a customer, again, we will be adding that into the AI Profits course. It may take a week or so before it gets in there, and all the prompts that are used, as well as any resources, links, things like that, we'll share inside the members area as well. And I want to thank all of the Push Button AI customers who did join us today. Thank you so much for being part of Push Button AI and part of our beta rollout. We are hard at work releasing some of our next round of features, and I have some big announcements coming up about that coming soon. And by the way, we're also going to be doing, well, actually, I'll save that to next week. I have a really big announcement on a new way that you can use Push Button AI to not only create a course business, but to create affiliate commissions and traffic. So Push Button AI and the business that it builds you can use it to get free traffic and a bunch of affiliate commissions. And I'm going to be doing some special training for all of you in the coming weeks covering this topic. So that training will likely begin next week and then roll out over the next probably 4 or 5 weeks. So we're going to be covering that. It's a very specific tactic, and it's a way you can use the push button AI tools, again, to get free traffic and to get a bunch of affiliate commissions. Is a nice little side effect. So, and it's a brilliant strategy. It's a brilliant strategy. It's actually something that I legally couldn't share with you, but now I can. I can share it with you now. Okay, awesome. Well, then on that note, we're going to wrap it up. So Nick, thanks for your help. I see Samantha out there in the chat and other members of our team. So thanks to all of you, and we'll see you next time. Like and subscribe. See you next week. Bye.